Over $800 billion was wiped out from the stock market on Friday. Meanwhile, Bitcoin continues to dump. We are seeing the same thing play out over and over again, and in today's video we'll be discussing what could be next for the crypto markets. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So as you can see, just under $1 trillion wiped out from the US stock market yesterday at market close, and Bitcoin clearly did not like this. Now, at this point in time, from a technical perspective, Bitcoin is hovering right below its point of control of the range. We discussed how important these levels really are for Bitcoin if we can get any sign of strength. Now, if you've been watching the channel for a while, as you know, I have been shorting Bitcoin. We somehow managed to catch the Pico top on this most recent short. I'm currently up just under $100,000 on this short, and this was shared, of course, in my group. Now, at this point in time, if Bitcoin is to get continuation, I would like to see a reclaim of the point of control. It is that simple. So a reclaim would look something like this, breaking above this level and then holding above this turquoise line on a 4-hour candle closing basis. Multiple 4-hour candle closes would suggest that perhaps Bitcoin can get a move to the upside. However, I'm not here to give you any kind of false hope. If you've been watching the channel for a while, we've been discussing time and time again how Bitcoin is in a bear market. Look, I shorted right below $100,000 and I shorted again right below $74,000. If you're new to the channel, the reason why I shorted, just to repeat myself once more, is because we had a major push towards this anchored VWAP, which was a critical zone for Bitcoin to break past. I was essentially betting on the fact that we would not break past these levels, and my next target, if we were to break past them, would be the tariff capitulation lows. We discussed the fact that this area would be a very good area to actually take profits on longs if you were in longs in this market. Now, I understand a lot of people are not leverage trading this crypto market, especially in the bear market. But we also touched on the fact that from an investment standpoint, if you are just a spot holder, it's important to be very, very careful if the stock market breaks below these moving averages consisting of the bull market support band. So, if the stock market starts getting closes below this level, I'm quoting myself here, it simply means that crypto will struggle. And at this point in time, what do you notice here? On a daily candle closing basis, we managed to close below the bull market support band. Now, starting this new week, it will be extremely important to see whether or not we can immediately reclaim it, or if we're going to get any continuation lower. Continuation lower simply means, in my opinion, that Bitcoin will go ahead and move lower, which is why I'm positioned from a short perspective, essentially betting on the price of Bitcoin going down. Now, if this sounds interesting to you, please remember I'm sharing all of my trades in my group. You do have the first link in the description down below. If you DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram, you can join my private group. The only requirement is that you signed up with one of my affiliate exchange links and you start trading on there as you normally would with your own capital. We have tons of options down below. My go-to exchange, as a matter of fact, is Bluffin. I really do trust their platform. You can trade stocks, crypto, and precious metals. Now, let's also talk about the fact that the Coinbase Premium Index has indeed diminished here. Now, on the 30-minute time frame, it doesn't paint a super clear picture. You'll see a massive spike which coincides almost perfectly with the most recent Bitcoin top. However, if we go on the 1-day time frame, something I want you to pay attention to is that this most recent spike here is absolutely nothing compared to the previous price action that we got going into Bitcoin's all-time high. And so, there is a chance that this can continue, but it would likely coincide with renewed stock market strength. And I'm not necessarily betting on it. We talked about the fact that the stock market looked very, very dumpy. Guys, it's not all doom and gloom on my channel. I just want to make sure that you understand what I think could be happening next. We've been talking about the stock market potentially getting some kind of top over the past couple months. Now, the stock market takes much, much longer to play out, especially with corrections. Right now, you can see that we're hardly making new all-time highs, and finally, we broke below the bull market support band. Legends, this is going to be a very quick update video. It is indeed Saturday. It's as simple as reclaiming this point of control. If Bitcoin cannot reclaim this point of control, then I would be betting on the fact that Bitcoin will ultimately move lower, and this will simply be another deviation above the local highs like we saw when Bitcoin pumped all the way up to $97,000, breaking above its own local highs once more, and then dropping much further as the bear market progresses. Now, the positive news here is as Bitcoin heads lower, I will be accumulating more Bitcoin, and I'm more than happy to guide all of you legends along the way. So, at this point in time, you can see that we're just dumping. And if Bitcoin does lose its point of control with confidence, multiple 4-hour closes below that level, well, this short is going to continue printing. As I said previously, this was shared in my group. I was very vocal about looking for a new opportunity to short Bitcoin and make money on the way down. Next thing I wanted to cover here, the Bitcoin exchange liquidation map. Just quickly, you can see that there's still on the 30-day time frame around the same amount of cumulative long liquidation leverage to cumulative short liquidation leverage. And because we are in a bear market, it makes sense to favor dumps over pumps. So when we get pumps, I basically look for swing shorting opportunities in this market. This strategy won't work forever. There will be a moment where I will simply be looking for swing longing opportunities in this market, and that will be near those bear market lows as we try to establish a base, which we've discussed time and time again. These bear market low bases take time to form. It's not just a wick to the downside and then we're off to the races. We typically chop around near the low for quite some time, as you can see here in the previous cycle, and it looks so similar. Sorry to repeat myself, but a dump from all-time highs, a retest of the bull market support band, another dump, a little bit of relief, another dump, and then ultimately we are forming the bear market bottom. This would be the accumulation zone. If we take it with today's price action, same exact thing. Please just don't ignore the facts. Don't make this harder than it needs to be operating in a bear market. A dump from an all-time high, a pump to the bull market support band, another dump, and now you can see we had a pretty big move to the upside. Let me measure it from the low to the high. We pumped over 23%. Now you'll notice that this previous pump over here after crashing in the previous bear market was approximately a 28% pump. So there is a chance that Bitcoin can move higher, but on the lower time frames, we must absolutely reclaim this point of control. If we cannot do this, it's going to be lower for Bitcoin. I'm just showing you how I'm operating in this market. Now, from a profit-taking perspective, it's the same exact thing. While I am betting for Bitcoin to move lower here, I would like to see us reclaim the point of control for me to consider closing at least 20% of my existing Bitcoin short position, because this could signal that maybe we want another move to the upside. So I'm monitoring the charts very closely even over the course of this weekend. And the last thing I wanted to cover in this quick video, Iran came out and said that they will no longer attack neighboring countries or launch missiles unless an attack on Iran originates from those countries. So that's ultimately positive news for the Middle East. I am actually based in the Middle East, so I'm very happy to hear this. Meanwhile, Trump took this as an opportunity to come out and say that Iran has surrendered to its Middle East neighbors. I'm not sure what you think about this. Leave your comments down below. I'd love to know. And that sums up today's quick video. Very quick weekend update, but hey, I'm still shorting Bitcoin. I wanted to let you know that nothing has changed from my perspective. Shorting from $97,000, holding part of that position. Shorting from just under $74,000, holding that position. And of course, we'll have to see how the price action develops. Keep your eyes on that point of control if you're trading this market. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. As always, I have my bluff and leveraging tutorial right here, and I'll see you in the next video.